Hello everybody, Tarek37 here, and welcome to the character creation of the Expanse RPG solo that I'm trying to do. So I haven't filled out the character. I actually am going to go through character creation because I don't actually know what kind of character I'm going to make yet. I want that to be kind of determined by the dice. So, let's see. Well, I'll start, I guess, with a little bit of an intro to the world of the Expanse. The Expanse is a novel series written by James S.A. Corey, I believe, I recall. It's been a little while since I read the books. It also became a TV show on Amazon. I think first it was Sci-Fi, then Amazon. It takes place in our own solar system in the not too distant future. You can see I set on the simple calendar. I think the year that everyone assumes it starts, that the show and the book start in, is 2350. Earth has kind of expanded outside of the solar system. There's a colony on Mars that is now independent from the United Nations of Earth. And out in the belt over here in this area, that is where a number of people live. They are called Belters. They are basically people that have been born in microgravity. They have various health issues and changes, not as a result of excuse me, not necessarily as a result of like mutations, but just because they were born and raised in a microgravity environment. So their bodies, I believe, they tend to be taller, they tend to be thinner, they can't really stand higher gravities. So like going to Earth, I believe, is actually considered a form of torture, like if they land on the planet. But the Belters tend to thrive out in microgravity, and they are exploited by what they term the Inners, the Martians and the Earthers, who basically use their labor to get the various minerals and resources out in space. And Martians and the Earthers also, they're kind of, they're not at war, but they don't have the best relations. Martians are very independent. They kind of look at Earth as like, they kind of look down on Earthers. They kind of see Earth as, like, the people of Earth as I'm trying to find the right word for it. I don't know. I think there's like there's kind of a little bit of they kind of feel like the Earthers tend to be kind of soft because on Earth they have this thing called basic, where everyone gets like basic income, they get like basic housing and all this stuff. The only way really out of basic is to like get a job, join the military, things like that. I might be getting some things wrong, and if so, I apologize, because I do like these books. I like them. I've read them, all the main books, a few of the side stories. The one I remember reading most is Drive, which is about one of the key like cornerstones of the series, is the nowadays very unfortunately named Epstein Drive, or not named after that Epstein, named after a different Epstein, who was a Martian who developed a special kind of, like, I believe it's nuclear powered drive that like can actually get ships up to a speed approaching a fraction of the speed of light, which is a very big deal, because faster than light, especially in our universe, is not, like, even getting to the speed of light is a major, almost impossible. Like, I think it is an impossibility. Of course, who knows? Maybe that'll change in the future when we discover new technologies, but whatever. And the essential, like, That is how, like, ships are able to, like, kind of move around, but it's not, again, it's not even the speed of light. It's a fraction of the speed of light. So, I think, actually, give me a sec. I do have the, I've got a number of, like, Expanse, like, travel charts. So, for an example, in the Expanse, they kind of... Their measurement of speed is in terms of G's, so, like, gravity. And the higher the gravity, basically, the harder the force is pushing against you, the more damage you can take. But, essentially, I'm looking at a chart right now, you might not be able... I don't think you're able to see it, but to get from... At 0.3 G, you can get from Earth to Mars in 90.4 hours. So, in a matter of days, you can get from Earth to Mars. That's insane. It's a very big deal. And, like, the faster you can go 1G, but traveling at 1G isn't necessarily great for people. But if you were to go from Earth to Mars, it would only take 49.5 hours, so a little over 2 days. In a little over 2 days, you'd be at Mars. It's amazing. And there's, like, all sorts of cool... There's, like, stuff... There's, like, essences of cyberpunk with, like, mega corporations. There's also, like, weird science of... You know, like, obviously you have, like, this semi-weird science, but it's still kind of grounded of the drive that lets you, like, move a fraction of the speed of light. That's a bit sci-fi, but not too bad. I say that like it's bad. No. It's a bit sci-fi, but not, like, too far outside of the realm of possibility. But as, like, the series goes on, there gets to be more and more, like, weird stuff happening, experiments, new things discovered, and all that stuff. I don't want to spoil any of it, although, depending on how long this goes, I might end up accidentally spoiling stuff, and I apologize. Guys, I highly recommend you read the books. I have not seen the show, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I can tell you, as someone who has read the books, they're very, very, very well done. The final book in the series was published. They also have a book that is like a collection of all the short stories, including a new one set not too long after the original, after the last book. So, I highly recommend it. Now to get to kind of character creation. Because that's one of the things I really like. So, it's kind of similar to Dungeons & Dragons. But more so kind of like the old school Dungeons & Dragons of rolling 3d6. You roll it 9 times for all the attributes. And when you're done with all 9 abilities, you can swap any 2 scores. So you can customize your character a little bit. But I like the idea of, I don't entirely know what character I'm making. I have no clue what they're going to be good at. And if at any point... Okay, so 8. So, however, an 8 is not an 8. An 8 is actually a 0. So I have a 0 for accuracy at the start. 14 is actually, I think that's a 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 14 is a 2. So, Constitution is 2. I'm basically going down over here first, then over that way. I don't think that's actually the order that it is in the, in the book, though. No, I'll set communication to be 2. I'll follow how I recall it being, because I think it's supposed to go alphabetical order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. So, Constitution is also a 2. Okay, so... Dexterity. 16! Whoa, that's actually really good. 16 is a 3. 13. I believe that is also a 2. 2 in fighting. Yep, 13 is a 2. 12. I think that's also a 2. Double check. Yep, 12 is a 2. So intelligence of 2. 11. I think that means it's a 1. Yes. It's 1. So perception is a 1. Not bad. Oops. Did not mean to try to make a new macro. 7. I'm pretty sure that's a really bad score. 7. Not too bad, actually. It's just a 0. So strength is at a 0. And last one is 9, which I think might actually be a 1. Yes, 9 is a 1. So a 1 in willpower. So, I'm not going to swap any around just because, again, I kind of like the idea of not entirely knowing what character I'm going to make and not really customizing it. Besides, the stats I think are pretty good. A 0 in strength and a 0 in accuracy, so not that strong, not that accurate. Very good at dexterity, though. Dexterity is the best score. And then fighting, so whoever this person is, they can fight. They can fight. They're not very strong, but they can still fight, like, in close quarters pretty well. In Constitution, they're actually fairly tough. They're just not very strong. Communication skills are pretty good. Intelligence is pretty good. Perception's fine. Willpower's fine. Yeah. I think this is good. So. And then there are focuses. We'll be getting focuses as we build our character. So, next up is our origin. Our origin does not affect our stats. The origin is mostly just kind of a... sort of a, like, you might get a focus from it. But most of the time it's basically just like, what's the best environment for you to live in. And this one can be determined by 1d6. So, I will roll 1d6 to do this randomly. A 2, which means I am a belter. Alright, belter. So I think that means, let me check the core book. I automatically have the dexterity free fall focus. Check, do I need... okay. Alright, well, create a focus. This is free fall. Attribute for this is dexterity. And then we're just going to drop it in here. Oops. Did not mean to delete that. But basically, if you have a focus, you can hit this. Adds a +2, so if I were to be rolling a free fall check, 3 plus 2, so it's 5, plus 12 would be a total of 17. You'll notice there are 3 dice here, and one of them is a different color. This is the stunt die. This uses Green Ronin's age system, wherein basically this is kind of the whole thing, is you roll 3d6, one of the dice being different from the others. You add whatever your attribute is, or ability in this case, whatever the rating is, you add, if you have a focus, you add 2 to it. And if you roll doubles, if any of these 3 match, so if this was a 4 or if this was a 4, Then the number on the stunt die determines how many stunt points you get. And you can do various things with those stunts, like increase damage, trip somebody up. There's lots of different things you can do. I'll need to be consulting tables to figure out some of the default stuff. But, yeah. So, we're a belter. Let me read what it says in the core book. You were born and raised in the Black, on a station or ship, and have lived most, if not all, of your life out in the Belt or beyond. Separated from death by nothing more than basic support systems for your whole life, you have learned to be cautious and aware of your environment. As a Belter, your character has the following traits. Your native gravity is microgravity. Belters are more comfortable on the float, and handle moving in freefall easily. You automatically have the dexterity freefall focus. Conversely, Earth normal gravity is crushingly heavy for a Belter. You speak Belter Creole, a combination of loan words and phrases from various languages combined with gestures useful for communicating while wearing a vac suit and unable to speak. Belters tend to be tall and willowy as a result of being raised in low or microgravity environments. Regimens of bone density drugs and genetic treatments are needed to keep Belters healthy, and some Belters have minor physical abnormalities because of this. Belters often have a diverse ethnic heritage, given the melting pot of the Belt, with ancestors from many different Earth cultures. So, now we're going to determine our social class. 2d6 for this. Rolled a 6, which means we are lower class. So, that means it is hard, usually physical labor and precarious employment tend to rule the lives of lower class characters. Still, that work is often all that separates them from becoming outsiders, so they cling to it. Lower class characters often depend on family and friends to help keep them out of utter poverty. They might live in failing industrial areas, inner city slums, or hardscrabble farms. In all cases, they make do with what is available and find ways to stretch out resources until the next payday or job comes along. So, then we have our backgrounds, which I will also roll a d6 for, to determine what our background is in our lower class social class. So, 3. In this case, our background is laborer, which I will type in here. Laborer. So, I'll read the description. Your family is used to hard physical work, and so are you. Generations have worked the factory line, the mines, the assembly line, or the dockyards. You might be looking to move on and move up from there, or stick with it, or something might have upended the life you once knew, forcing you to move on. Our constitution goes up by 1. So, we're at a 3 now for constitution. We can choose a focus between communication, between dexterity crafting or strength might. I think we're going to go with crafting, given that that is what we're better at. So I'm going to need to make a dexterity crafting focus. So it's going to be dexterity. We get to pick either one unarmed combat style, or we get to pick the carousing talent. And then we will also get to roll once on the laborer benefits. Which basically that is a table with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possibilities. 3 of them will bump up one of our abilities. The others will provide a focus. So let's see here. I'm going to do, let's see, unarmed combat. I'll just save that here for now. We'll have it at novice. Don't know what it is yet, but we'll figure it out. I will roll 2d6, and we will see what our bonus is. What other benefit do we get? An 11. Okay. We get the focus, constitution, stamina. Excuse me. Alright. Kind of interesting character. This makes sense. Well, obviously, like, we picked a freaking, you can actually see that one. Dang. So, yeah. Next up is our profession. Your character's profession describes what they do, their vocation, training, and often how they earn a living. Roll a profession on the table corresponding to your character's social class, or else choose one. We can choose professions below our class, and that'll actually give us a bonus +1 income per class, which in our case would basically just be a +1, because we could only go as low as outsider. However, I will just roll a d6 and we'll determine what our lower class profession is. Because again, I just kind of want to... 3. What profession is that? Investigator. Interesting. Not what I expected. But okay. I'm not complaining, partially because I really like investigators. So I'll read the descriptor. People lie and keep secrets. They've been doing it since the dawn of time. Likewise, people like you, who know how to dig up the truth, have always dogged deceivers. You might bring criminals to justice, get information to the public, or find out what a client wants or needs to know. So, for focus, we can choose communication, investigation, or any perception focus. And then, for a talent, we can pick either intrigue or observation. I think I'm going to go with communication, investigation, because, again, that seems to be what... that seems to be a better choice than perception. Because, again, we're not great. We're not great at perception. We're not bad, but not as good as I'd like. And then I think for the talent, I will choose the observation talent. Yeah, this will be get this at novice. I'll fill this in a bit later. So we've got that figured out. Okay, now I need to pick drive. So for this, I need to roll 2d6. One to determine the column, and the next to choose the actual drive. Whenever you get a drive, your character's drive describes what motivates them to act, to say yes to an opportunity. Just like an Epstein on a ship, drive is what moves your character forward. Drive gives you cues for action as a player and provides the GM with hooks to encourage your character to take action. Choose a drive for your character or roll on the drive table for one. And it provides the following benefits. It gives you a quality and a downfall, a choice of one of 2 specific talents, and then one of the following improvements: fortune +5, membership rank 1, income +2, relationship rank 1, or reputation rank 1. I think fortune will probably be my choice, because fortune is basically your health. But okay, I believe that's column 1. 6, leader. Somebody needs to stand up, take responsibility, and get things done. You might relish the opportunity to lead or take it up reluctantly, but either way, you're natural at it, and it's hard to resist an opportunity to take charge. The quality of this is responsibility, the ability to take on and make decisions and live with the outcome. The downfall is isolation. The distance imposed by your role as leader, which can affect relationships and how close you can be with people you lead. And our choice of talent is either command or inspire. I think I'm going to go with inspire. Drive is leader. We are going to go with inspire, novice. Okay. Now, income. Our income score is a 2. Starting income score of 2. Instead of, basically in this game, instead of having like a solid, like, oh, you have this many credits, or something along those lines. What they do is, you have an income score that determines how much money you have on hand. And just in total. And there's a couple things to keep in mind. You can make income tests to basically, if the test result equals or exceeds the cost of an item, you successfully purchase it, and if you fail, you can't afford it. If your income score plus 4 is equal to or greater than an item's cost, then you don't even need to make an income test, you just succeed. If you successfully purchase something with a cost greater than your current income score plus 10, your income score will decrease. Purchasing items may take additional time, reflecting the time needed for you to locate the items and arrange their purchase. It's up to the GM. We can gain income through an award at the end of an adventure where we've accrued wealth or something. Usually it's just like a +1. Next up is equipment. We have some ordinary clothing, some essential tools or items of our profession, and any weapon the character has an associated focus or talent for using. So none for us. But now we're going to go to secondary attributes, which I don't think have automatically updated. Actually, no, it looks like it... Yeah, no, it has, actually. Cool. So, I just have to explain it. So, our defense, it's basically how difficult it is to hit my character with attacks in combat. You know, basically they have to roll a 13 or above to hit me. If they want to hit me, they need to roll a 13 or above on 3d6 plus whatever their attributes are. Speed is how quickly you can move, basically measured in meters. And so it can move 13 meters in one move. For toughness, that reduces the damage from attacks. Normally we start out with a fortune score of 15. However, because I picked the score improvement of our drive, goes up to 20. And basically, like, as it depletes, it's not necessarily that we're getting hit, it's that, that was just a scratch, or, that bullet, like, missed me. It's, like, fortune is how lucky you are not to have died. Need to come up with a name. I'll also need to actually, like, update, I need to actually pick a close combat talent. I found Inspire already, so I can just... I have the PDF, so I can just copy-paste information on the Inspire talent here. And to be clear, if you don't meet the requirements during character creation, you still get the talent, and you can still use it. It's just that if you want to buy the talent new, you need to meet the requirements later. So, and basically, what we can do at novice level is. if we're conscious and they're within sight of us, the allies get a +1 bonus to all willpower related tests. So pretty nice, actually. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Okay, just checking to make sure that I don't need to open up the... Okay. So, observation. Huh. Actually, maybe we need to switch to intrigue, because observation is, as you might imagine, actually tied directly to perception. Whereas intrigue... No, I'm going to keep observation, because I like observation. And the description is 1 sentence. Which is, you know. Choose a perception focus. I'm going to go with, I'll have to look at perception focuses in a sec to pick which it is. But, last one is any close combat talent, which I need to find one. Let's see, striking style. Striking style, I think, will be what we do. Because that one basically, the novice talent is basically just, instead of rolling a d3 for damage, we roll a d6. So, it makes things easier. So. Striking style. Excuse me. So, go into here. Paste. And go into here. Sorry about that. That was my phone, if you could hear that. I hope you couldn't. Alright. So, next up, I'm going to real quick open up the Fantastic Fantasy Name Generators.com. Excuse me. And let's see what would be Charles Harrison. Alright, Charles Harrison. Well, hold on. Well, his first name would be Charles, but because it's a melting pot, let's go with a different one for his last name. Charles... Would be an interest... let's go with Charles... let's go with Italian last names. Charles Vescovi. Charles Vescovi. And let's make sure on the prototype token it says Charles Vescovi. And when covered by anyone, like actor data, token disposition should be friendly. There we go. And now I will just need to find a good image for Charles Vescovi, but we will find that out later. I think I'm going to end this... Oh, wait, there's one last thing I need to do. So we know Charles Vescovi is an investigator. But the question is, how is this next one going to start? We're going to be out in the belt. Probably on one of the stations. Maybe Thoth Station or Thoth Station or Taicho Station. So we're just going to roll for a random event. We're just going to call this Start. Oh wait, first gotta roll for the event focus. This is a remote event, so this is an event we are not there for, but whatever it is... Neglect environment. Okay, so here's what I thought. We are on some station. And someone has neglected an important I know. Instead of just an important, someone has neglected the air filtration systems. Filtration systems. This is a remote event that Charles has learned about. And if I had to guess, and here's how I'm gonna roll with it, is Charles probably hasn't, we're gonna say he probably is mostly, for the most part, done, like, not very many big detective things. But one thing he probably does a lot of the time is maybe he does something similar to like a kind of like a welfare check kind of thing. So maybe he's going to go check. He's been called to check in and find this person who was supposed to be working on the air filtration systems but failed to do so, and that will be the crux of our the start of our game. We're looking for someone who's basically someone missed work, and as a result, the air filtration systems are not optimized, and so we've been hired. We've basically been told, go investigate this, go find out what happened to this person. All right. Thank you all for watching / listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. Let's hope this guy doesn't, doesn't die. Or at least not for a long time. Thank you again. Hope you all have a great day. Bye.